if they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call the prize Slamma Jamma.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out before me acting ignorant.
Zion Chris got his way through, and he may go! Chris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere!
Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four.
Go Cougs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
Okay, I think I finally got it. Damn it. It took me 4 weeks to get it done, but I got the intro and I got us on screen. Welcome into another edition of Pod Slamma Jamma, and what could more fitting week to do it? It's a big game week for Houston, 4-0 versus 4-0. The 11th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders are coming into TDECU Stadium, and they're going to try to defeat the Houston Cougars. At the end of by the end of this week, there will be one team that is no longer undefeated. And we're going to talk all about that matchup between the Red Raiders and your Houston Cougars. But joining me on the show tonight, Mr. Dayon Dunlap, Kenneth Bowman of Coog TV. How are y'all doing on this Wednesday, October 1st? It's officially October. Wednesday evening, Wednesday night.
Doing pretty good, Andy.
I'm doing good too, man. Today at my school is actually wear your college shirt today, so I have my UH shirt on. I wish I still had it on. But
Yes,
hey, I'm
sir.
ready for the game, man. I'm in game time. I'm ready.
Always got a rep. Let's get into the matchup. It's exciting. I mean that we had talked about it last week when we were previewing Oregon State, right? There's a little bit of buzz, a lot of anticipation for this game and the possibility of it being 4-0 versus 4-0. And the Houston Cougars, they were able to get the job done. Now they made a lot of Houston fans sweat it against Oregon State a little bit. We're down 2 scores with 6 minutes left but they were able to come back and win it in overtime. And like I said, now we have 2 undefeated teams heading into this matchup. And damn, there had been a lot of Texas Tech fans that are talking trash on Twitter the moment that game went final. Kenneth, Dayon, I don't know if you've had any interactions, but that Saturday, I just had to get away from Twitter because it was just Texas Tech fans talking and talking and talking. And they seem very confident that they will have a good contingent of people here in Houston. And hopefully we have a much more bigger Houston contingent. It's going to be their Houston Blue game. That's why if you notice the thumbnail of this video, I have a little strip of Houston Blue for it. We got to get in the spirit. But what do you got? What are your thoughts? What are your expectations for this game? A big matchup. We're really excited to see Houston and Texas Tech.
Honestly, I really this game could go. There's multiple. I feel like I have multiple instances on how this game can go. Speaking of the Tech fans, though, like you said, they've been hitting up the Coog TV mentions. You know, we've been putting some stuff out about the game. I've been seeing them in the Coog TV notifications. But I like the Tech fans. They're funny. You know, it's I feel like it's all love. You know, it's just football, bro. This how you know how the game go. There's a lot of them. They're passionate about their team, and I'm just hoping for a good game on Saturday and hopefully a Houston W.
Yeah, I definitely been seeing the trash talk. And we owe them. I'm looking for payback. I'm looking for blood. I mean, we got to get them this time. We at home. I hope we get a really good sellout crowd. And I think it's a new culture in town, man. I think our boys are going to come out. They're going to fly around. They're going to be ready for the upset.
That you said it right there. You hit the nail right on the head, down when it comes to we owe them payback. We haven't been able to defeat Texas Tech in several meetings that both Houston and Tech have had recently, going back to the 2018 season. It's been a while. Houston's been close a few times. It's very interesting when we talk about the recent matchups. There's been several instances where teams have had big leads, and then Texas Tech has rallied back. There was an instance in 2021 where Texas Tech just, flat out dominated Houston. But, like you mentioned, Dayon, this seems like a different aura, for the lack of a better word, in terms of this Houston Cougars football team under head coach Willie Fritz. They're 4-0. There's excitement. There's going to be a lot of buzz. This is probably the most highly anticipated game that's been here in Houston for a while. I would say arguably probably going back to 2023 when it was Houston, Texas, just in terms of the high caliber of opponent. And Kenneth, like you said, this is what college football is all about. We have a high anticipation. If you ask the Texas Tech fans, and they're kind of throwing a lot of shade of Houston. But I think out of all the Texas schools in the Big 12, the Red Raiders are the closest that Houston has to an actual rival right off the bat, just in terms of how frequently they've played over the course of the past really almost decade now. But it has been lopsided, and Houston trying to get some payback. And I think this is the team they're going to go out there and they're going to have a good opportunity. And I mean, let's get into the matchup. Kenneth, when we talk about Texas Tech, what are some things that Houston has to look for, and what are going to be some of the things that give Houston headaches on Saturday in this matchup?
I mean, it's kind of been a lopsided as of late. I mean, Houston has lost 6 straight against Tech. I think they haven't beat them since 2009. But I mean, looking at Houston, looking at Tech, 2 4-0 programs. Houston's 4-0 for the first time since 2016, I believe.
Yep.
But I mean, looking at Tech, their D line is nasty. Houston's O lines are going to have to strap up their boots on Saturday and put up a good performance against that defensive line. And I think offensively, Houston's going to really have to do some more things that we haven't seen them do so far. I mean, going back to that Oregon State game, in that last 6 minutes, we really seen him put the ball in Connor Wakeman's hands, and he ultimately delivered. So I think going forward, Houston's going to have to come out aggressive early in the passing game, hit up guys like Tanner Kozer early, get Amari Thomas going early. And I mean, because we've seen what success that they've had getting those particular guys the ball, and even Stephon Johnson. I want to see him get involved early. I mean, he's been great in the fourth quarters. Oregon State, Rice, Colorado. He's been excellent in the fourth quarters. But I would like to see Stephon Johnson going a little early, and then also with the running game, I hope we can get Jamarion Burnett back out there and see what he can do. And I hope Dean Connors, he's been doing his thing. He's been holding down the backfield, and I hope they can get DJ Butler some more carries too.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be important to sustain drives, to get first down. So you got to at least get that first down and kind of get a rhythm, maybe get in some up tempo and be the versatile offense that we've shown that we can be throughout the season. So I think it's important to get first downs early and kind of just sustain some drives to be able to get the ball around, to spread the ball around, and even run it on the ground. So I think it's important to getting out to a good start, whether it's throwing or passing. We got to get that first down and be able to win the line of scrimmage. We got to establish a run. I don't think we can just become pass oriented or one dimensional and let Texas Tech pass rushers to be able to tee off knowing it's a guaranteed pass. So I think we definitely have to be versatile, get our run game going, get some play active pass, then we can get some shots and some of those intermediate routes with Amari Thomas and Ozil.
Well, it seems like Houston. I remember when we were on the show before they ever kicked off, before they played against Stephen F. Austin, and we had a question about the offense, playmakers who would rise, and obviously we were really high on Stephon Johnson and even Tanner Koziel as well. We knew that chemistry. We saw it during training camp, but Amari Thomas has been the one receiver that you can tell the great chemistry that he has with Connor Wegman, and they've really become the big three of the Houston offense so far. Big four if you add Dean Connors, but when we're talking about receiving threats about Connor Wegman, those have been the consistent threats for Houston, especially, I mean, going back since the second half of that game against Rice. Obviously, Texas Tech, like you mentioned, Kenneth, they have a really, really good defense when we're talking about their D-line, and it's kind of a strength on Saturday between Houston and Texas Tech, because Houston has a really good defensive line as well, and when we're just looking at raw numbers, and obviously we know that sacks don't tell the full story, but on the season, Texas Tech has been able to accumulate 10 sacks through 4 games. Houston Cougars just 1 sack behind. So they've gotten 9 sacks on the season in their first 4 games. So again, this is kind of like strength on strength. This is going to be. I'm curious to see how it goes. I think it'll be much more of a grinded out defensive battle, and hopefully it's exciting and Houston are able to make more plays. But something that Houston has done really well in the first 4 games, outside of that, that one bad errant throw that Connor Wegman had against Oregon State, his first interception of the season. They've done a really, really good job for the most part of taking care of the ball. That's the big reasons why Houston is 4-0 to start this season. That's going to be pivotal in this matchup. Houston has to take care of the ball. They can't give Texas Tech extra opportunity to put their defense at a disadvantage because their defense has played really well. You don't want to extend them on the field too much. And going back to Dayon's point, they have to be able to sustain drives. They can't be going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and really straining this defense.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. What you said, it is going to be I'm predicting a defensive battle from both sides. Both teams have shown to be excellent on the defensive side of the ball, and they're going to have to get the running game going. They really couldn't do anything running game wise against Oregon State, and Willie Fritz, he expressed his disappointment that the team they weren't really following through with the script and what they worked on. I think the team was going to be definitely more locked in this week, just on based on how they played last week. But they're definitely going to have to run the ball well. They can't go 3 and out. If they come out with the offense they did last week, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
You got to win the turnover battle, like Andy was just alluding to. I think we could win the turnover battle, get our offense a short field, or even kicking game. But I think a person that can have a big game, who's shown flashes of almost making big plays, is Kobe Young. I think he's somebody who got the explosiveness, the speed to get behind the defense and be able to haul in one of those big plays and make a difference, make a play. So I think it's a couple plays that got away last week and even in weeks prior that we shown players like Kobe Young who could be effective. Then you got Boogie and Amari, who they're going to already be keying on. So just spreading the ball around. But I think defensively, we got to get a turnover or at least force them to a 3 and out to kind of get our confidence going. I don't think falling behind early would be good for us in either way offensively. I think Connor is so resilient, though, that he's going to have enough poise to be able to, if it's a shootout, we got to score. I think our team, and I have the confidence that he can go in and play in any game that we need. I just want to see the way the game goes. Momentum is key. I mean, we got to win that turnover battle, even the field position battle. We can't beat ourselves. I mean, we cannot have the high number of penalties that we had. Crowd got to be loud. It's so many components. But I think one thing is going to be key is explosive plays and limiting explosive plays. I think those are going to be the difference.
Do you like the starting off on defense or offense, Dayon?
I want to defer. I want the ball in the second half. So let's go defense first. I think if you can get the ball last right before the half and get a good drive, regardless of whatever the score is, then you get the ball coming back in half. That would be I think that's the route they should go. So then you can build that confidence if you get that stop defensively early, get the ball on offense, and get going.
I do agree with the comment that the ball control, that's one of Willie Fritz's keys to the game, and I think that's what he was trying to do against Oregon State. But I feel like he was kind of reluctant to go away from the game plan and the game script. We know that's the style of play, to run the ball, chew the clock. But at some point it comes with an adjustment, and I think since they were playing Oregon State, the adjustment came at the right time. But if you need to adjust or there's a need for an adjustment, you can't wait till there's 6 minutes left in the game to switch it up.
I kind of see what you're saying too, because you wait like against Rice late, it was adjustment to kind of start airing it out a little bit and kind of made some big plays. And the same thing on Oregon when you had to have it. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe you should try to start like that, but it's key to get that first down. Whether you run it on second down, you got to win the early downs too, because those third and longs can be tricky. You got to get positive yards on first down and get you in a manageable second and third down situation. That way you can extend drives.
And also, I mean, just don't be predictable. Don't go run pass. I mean, if you get 2 short runs on the first 2 downs and it's a third and long, don't create a third and long. I mean, we can get third and short or just convert on first down, convert on second down. It's about putting yourself in situations.
That real quickly, that comment that you mentioned, Kenneth, that was courtesy of George Rivera on YouTube. I agree 100%. But ball control, whoever has time of possession is going to have the advantage in this matchup. And one of the other things that Dayon, you brought up in terms of Houston playing clean, right, not getting into penalties, and kind of to both of your points, not getting into any third and long situations. I found this interesting. I was listening to Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire's press conference that he had on Monday, and he was talking about how he feels that Texas Tech has really they've gotten a lot of penalties on their end, and I went and I looked at this. It's very interesting. They are currently second in the country when it comes to most penalized through 2025. So far, they're averaging 10.3 penalties a game, which is obviously something for Houston. Hopefully, that the Red Raiders haven't cleaned up too much over their bye week, but that could be something that the defense exploits, specifically this upcoming Saturday. Because again, vice versa, if the Houston defense is able to get the Red Raiders into these situations where they're in third and long, and now the Houston D line is able to tee off on their offense, on their quarterback, that's going to be something that is very, very beneficial to the Houston Cougars. And again, kind of going back to the time of possession battle, it's going to be like a tug of war because these are two really good defenses, and it's gonna come down to execution. Who's able to play the cleanest? Who's able to avoid getting themselves in bad situations? And I'm excited. I'm just excited for the atmosphere. I know it's going to be very crazy at TDECU. I'm still salty. I was not able to be in attendance when Houston played Texas, but I'm excited for this matchup when they play Texas Tech because I think this is going to be the best atmosphere that I've ever been at TDCU recently. Because I have been covering the football team or been around the football team since 2019, which that hasn't been a lot of high caliber games for Houston at TDCU Stadium, so that's pretty cool. There's just a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation about this game on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, going back to the Texas Tech game versus Utah, they had a lot of penalties, and a lot of pre-snap penalties.
Mhm.
I mean, Willie Fritz emphasized the limiting the pre-snap penalties. He talked about what they did. They had 3 against Oregon State. He said that was 3 too many. Like they said, Cougs don't beat the Cougs, and even against Texas Tech against Utah, I don't really think Tech played particularly well in that game. I mean, they ended up winning 34-10, but it was essentially a close game until Tech was able to break it open, and then we saw two different quarterbacks. So the starter got hurt, and the backup came in, and I think that the backup came in and played better than the starter, but. I think the starter he's cleared concussion protocol, so I would assume he's slated to start on Saturday.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to be good and ready to go against Houston this upcoming Saturday. And I mean, both their quarterbacks look really good. Baron Morton, the starter, they're throwing 11 touchdowns, 3 picks on the season. But Will Hammond, like you mentioned, he came in there against Utah and finished the game. They were able to pull away and blow out the Utes in their last matchup. I mean, both these quarterbacks do a good job of taking care of the ball. Talking about Texas Tech and really, granted, when you look at their opponents, right, they're not running through the teeth of the SEC, right? They're playing teams like Arkansas Pine Bluff and Kent State, and Oregon State, who Houston did play. Now, granted, that was in Lubbock and not up at Oregon State, but this is an offense that is averaging a lot of points heading into this matchup. Now, I think they haven't faced a defense like the Houston Cougars. I think Utah was the closest, and before the waning moments of that game, it was a defensive battle. Like Utah was in it. It was a very low scoring game until the very end. How do you guys feel? What does Houston have to watch for just in terms of this explosiveness for the Texas Tech? Because Utah, like I said, through 3 quarters, looked like Utah was doing a good job of holding them down. But then, the explosiveness, and like we mentioned, they have a lot of talent from their quarterback all across that offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Houston's D line is going to have to really show out. I kind of wasn't really liking what I saw of the D line against Oregon State. I think against Oregon State, Houston was losing the battle in the trenches on both sides. So I would expect them to step it up this week against Tech. Carlos Allen, Khalil Lafau, those guys, Eddie Walls. and whoever, and even a couple of the other guys can chip in just in terms of the pass rush and effort. I feel like we kind of already know what the Houston does in the secondary. They're pretty good in the back end. They don't give up big plays, so it's going to be up. It's going to be up in the front seven to see if they can get home on the pass rush and get some sacks.
Yeah, because if they don't get pressure and get sacks, the explosive plays is what concern me. I know this would be the best passing team that we've played by far. So we'll
Hmm.
really get a true test as far as our secondary getting a true test as far as being able to defend the pass and defend deep threats. Well, although our secondary tackles well, so I don't see us giving up those explosive plays unless it's busted coverage. But I think who can limit the explosive plays and who can get the most explosive plays is going to be the benefit of both teams. But I think we definitely have to limit them, try to make them one dimensional, whether it's throwing or running. But if we make them stop their pass to where they try to limit them to make them have long drives, sustainable drives, and we'll have to stop the run. Because I think if their game plan is going to be like Oregon, when they ran the ball on that drive, it was like 13 of 17, whatever it was, I think that's going to be their game plan. So we're going to have to stop the run while we do that for sure.
And then speaking on that running game, uh, I think Oregon was just so successful running. I mean, they ran the ball 49 times. I think they were so successful. It was just they. I think the defense just took too long to adjust, especially when you know they're going to run. I mean, even against Rice, once they put more in the box, they were able to stop the run, and that's one thing I've noticed just on the defense side of the ball when they face heavy rush attacks. There's kind of a reluctance to stack the box, but once they send more, they kind of shut that run game down. But I mean, against Tech, you stack the box against Tech, and they see that they might get a big play on
They're
you.
going to air it out. They're going to air
Yeah.
it out.
And they have the ability, like you mentioned, even against Oregon State, there was a couple of busted coverages that the defense had, and they just weren't able to connect with the pass.
Quarterback wasn't accurate. Yeah, it
Yep,
was.
overthrew a few. So that could be something that Houston is, uh, you know, susceptible. They're definitely going to be susceptible to this Saturday at TDCU Stadium. I want to bring up Crabtree's question. What do you guys think about Houston's offense against Tech's defense? Do you think UH can move the ball against them and score in the red zone in particular is what he's asking about?
I mean, I don't really know the stats, the red zone stats, but I think they've been particularly decent scoring in the red zone once they've gotten down there. It's been about putting together drives and actually getting into the red zone. And I think if they try to go up tempo, kind of what we've seen against Oregon State, I can see them having some success just because when they've done that in the past, they've been successful doing it. That's not necessarily the game plan that Willie Fritz wants to run, but they might have to pull some of that out and go and score, put the ball in the air. I mean, utilize your 5-star quarterback in Connor Wigman, and let him give it to his guys. Obviously, the running game is important, and we need the backfield to do this thing. But I mean, I feel like when you have a talent like that, you have to use it, especially against a team like Texas Tech.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think we will be able to move the ball against them. I mean, Oregon State can move it against them, so I don't think that's really stat. They do have some really good D linemen, and I think with just make it as a knowing it's a drop back passing situation where they can send for maybe blitz as well because they got some really good linebackers as well, and I think it could be trouble for us. But with being able to establish a run game and not having to drop back and pass where they can just tee off, I think we'll be able to move the ball and score. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're a Big 12 team. I think we got Big 12 talent out there. I don't think it's like we're gonna be pushovers. I'm expecting a close game, and I expecting us to win it.
I said that. I mean, I said that to you, Andy, before the year. I don't think they're just going to roll over to Tech. I mean, certainly on paper, Tech is a more talented team, and we have a common opponent in Oregon State, and they perform exceptionally better than Houston did. But I mean, it's a new week, and I think both teams are ready for this battle.
Yeah, and to your point about red zone efficiency, going back to Crabtree's question. So, now granted, this is combined field goals and touchdowns, right? So obviously, we all know anytime the team gets in the red zone, we love if they could finish with a touchdown all the time, which was not the case with Houston, even going back to their game against Oregon State. But just purely efficiency in terms of scoring wise, Houston it's pretty efficient. They're one of only a handful of teams that, when they do get in the red zone, they've come away with points every time they get in the red zone. Now, granted, that's not always touchdowns, but they are coming away with at least field goals once they get into the red zone. The problem is they're not getting into the red zone enough. They're averaging just under 2 trips to the red zone per game at just 1.7 so far through 4 games this season, which again, that's kind of been some of the concerns when it comes to their offense so far. They have to be able to more consistently move the ball and get into scoring positions, because when they are able to get into red zone, good things are happening for Houston. They're coming in with points, they're taking care of the ball, but they're just not getting there enough times. And definitely against Texas Tech, they're going to have to be able, if they're going to pull off the upset and defeat Texas Tech, they're going to have to be able to get into the red zone more than just once or twice. And again, they have no chance of beating Texas Tech if they only get in the red zone twice.
Yeah.
Coog saws his comment on YouTube. He says, "I hope we fight to the end. All we can ask for on Saturday." I'm hoping it's a good turnout. They're gonna look nice in those Houston blue jerseys. Whether you're the superstitious type or not, they're gonna look good. Damn it, that's one thing we can all agree on. And I'm just excited again to be. I just can't wait for Saturday to be in the atmosphere, in that loud environment. I just know it's going to be popping, and I'm excited to see TDECU like that because, again, I haven't firsthand witnessed it. We've seen it at Fertitta Center plenty of times, but not at TDECU, and I'm just excited to see that. I'm excited to see the turnout, and I'm hoping for a great game that obviously ends with a Houston upset. What say y'all? What are you most excited about when it comes to Saturday's game?
I want to see how Connor plays. I think I'm most excited to see how Connor plays. He's played SEC football, and so on a stage like this, and I think he's going to be comfortable and he's going to be ready. And I think his calmness and his leadership is going to play throughout the offense. And I'm hoping he comes out with a spectacular performance to really put Houston on the map. In the sense, okay, Houston can be for real this year. They have a real quarterback, and it's a turning point for our program with a impressive win at home, and that's what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, I don't think there's as much at stake as people want to make it out to be, because at the end of the day, I feel like Houston might be playing with a little bit of house money.
Oh yeah,
I feel like no one had them slated to win this game, and then they're what 11.5 underdog. Some people might see that as disrespectful, but I think that's warranted given how they played last week. But I feel like Houston. The pressure is really on Tech to come and perform and show the nation
Hmm.
how. Can you come and live up to that number 11 ranking, because you're coming in and facing a good Houston team that's also undefeated, and can you live up to it? You haven't necessarily played a top caliber opponents, and Houston hasn't really either. So there's pressure on both teams to kind of prove are you
Who
guys,
they are.
yeah, who you are. And also, I'm trying to see the Houston Blue. They look clean. I'm ready to see them come out and play in it.
Isaac Escobar on YouTube said that he does not think that Houston will be able to put up much of a fight. He says Texas Tech wins 35 to Houston's 10. George Rivera says he just bought his customized Houston blue jersey and he's ready to show it off on Saturday. So
Yeah,
you go,
come on, that
George.
Houston Blue, man.
If we run into you in the game, say what's up, say hello. I'm excited. I'm gonna get there early just to see the vibe, and walking around the different tailgates. So stop by. I'm hoping you get there early. We've had Eddie Nunez go on radio. I think he was on Sports Talk 790 today. Promoting the game, trying to build up some anticipation, some buzz. Going back to your point, Kenneth, you're exactly right. I agree. For the Houston Cougars, them being 4-0, like they have no pressure. Even if it's a home game for Houston, But this is a Texas Tech team that, like I said, they're ranked 11th in the country. Quite frankly, depending on, you could easily make the argument that they should be a top 10 team. They have everything that's at stake for them, right? If they're trying to be considered one of the top teams in the country and put themselves in good positioning for the college football playoff. Now that we've entered October, they have to go out there and they have to perform. They have to execute. They have to win. Houston, on the other hand, they're unranked. For crying out loud, they're not even getting any votes in the AP poll. Like there is no pressure on Houston whatsoever. If Texas Tech comes in here and they flex their muscles, well, that's what they're supposed to. On the other hand, the
See, I
game
kind of
goes, if it starts to get closer into third, fourth quarters, Texas Tech is all the pressure is on Tech, in my opinion.
I kind of think the opposite. I think the pressure is on Houston to establish that they're not the old Houston. So for me, I think, and it's welcome pressure. I don't think, in a sense, it's bad pressure. It's welcome pressure. And they're relishing the moment to be able to show, like, no, we're here. It's not the old Houston. Houston
That's
is
true.
on the level of the Techs, of the Texas, of the TCUs, and all the other Texas schools to establish, like, no, this is new Houston. Come to Houston, best talent, stay home, and we're gonna beat the Texas schools. We're the best school in Texas. And I think, on the other hand, for Tech, I think it's pressure in the sense, but also I think even if when they lose to us and we win, the outlook is going to be different on us. And then if they can continue win out the rest of their schedule, they can still not hurt them as much because. So I think it's. I get what you're saying. I'm not really disagreeing. I just kind of have a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that too as well. Because even then, I mean, Houston has to show out for their recruits. I mean,
Hmm.
I assume all the recruits and the commits are going to be there. There's an actual Saturday home game, 6 p.m. I think they're going to have a ton of the recruits in the stands. So this is also, audition for the guys that you want to, and not even the guys that are committed already, future prospects down the line. And like, damn, Houston just beat Texas Tech. I think I might have to go play there for that. So
I mean, this is a big recruiting game for both of these programs. In all
yeah,
honesty, I'm sure Texas Tech's going to have a lot of. I would be very. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that both of these teams are recruiting a similar skill set of players, and whoever comes out victorious on Saturday is going to be. See, why are you wasting time with that other program? We're building something here. Come to our program.
yeah.
And especially from a Houston perspective, like you said, this is the first Saturday home game at TDECU Stadium this season. Houston couldn't have asked for a better one to start the Saturday slate at TDECU Stadium. And again, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see, and hopefully it's a great energy and the game lives up to that, to just the buzz that we have from the outside looking in. Coog saws on Twitter, on X, I should say, says Tech spent a lot of money, so pressure's on them to show out with all that NIL money can produce. Houston sports fan on YouTube brings up that that he's true. Willie Fritz, when he was a head coach at Tulane,
I mean,
upset
he left. He
USC.
left. He wasn't. He didn't even coach that bowl game. He left.
Oh, it was after when he had already left.
Yeah, he was here.
No, I think that was the
I
year
don't.
before. That was I think he was still
Wasn't
with
that
That was the year
Tulane.
before.
Oh,
That
that
was
was
the
it.
year
Yep.
before.
Wasn't that 2023 or that was?
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
that was the year
It
before.
was when they upset Tulane was 2022 against Caleb Williams. The
Uh,
year after is, I believe, is when they lost to SMU in the American Championship game. But that's when Willie Fritz had already, or he left like literally the next day. But I think when they beat Caleb Williams, he was still at Tulane. Well, I actually, you know what? Let me double check that before. But I mean, Willie Fritz does have big game experience at Tulane, just what he was able to do in the New Year's Six Bowl. Yes, he was still at Tulane. That was in 2022 when they won the New Year's Six Bowl. That was against USC. But let me double check. It was the Cotton Bowl, and that was the 2022 season, but it was January 2, 2023. So yeah, Dana Holgerson was still here at that point. That was the first. That was when Houston was about to get into the Big 12. George Rivera says Tech has 6 players out, which reminds me of what I wanted to bring up. So Joseph Duarte, courtesy of Joseph Duarte, the Houston Chronicle, who just tweeted out or posted on X the initial injury report. Texas Tech has receiver Roy Alexander, cornerback Terrion Grant, and Holton Hendricks, offensive lineman, listed out for the game. Wide receiver Tristan Gentry is listed as doubtful and then questionable. Our defensive lineman Marion Banks and offensive lineman Hunter Zambrano and probables are tied in Terrence Carter, Cash Cleveland on the offensive line, and another offensive lineman, DeAntis Upshaw Jr., and then defensive lineman Amir Washington. All four of those players are probable for Houston. Really, it's the names that we already know for the most part have been out. Obviously, Rashawn Sanford, Devin Williams, Jaden York, Kenzie West, Rashad Sterling, David Nduke, Anthony Gangi, Travel Frederick Jr., and then Kendario Lee are all listed out. Really no new addition. That's it. They don't have anyone on doubtful, questionable, or probable in the initial injury report. So for Texas Tech, it looks like they'll have their starting quarterback ready to go on Saturday against Houston. D Wayne on YouTube. Tech 45, UH 17. Tech gonna blast that ass. Listen, if Texas Tech is able to score 40 points against Houston, I'll be very surprised. I don't think they'll. I think they will have the least amount of points that they've had all season. Like I think that's much of a testament of this defense. Barring that the offense just continues to go 3-0 and the cliff falls off when it comes to turnovers, which I also don't anticipate. I think they'll take care of the ball. I'll be very surprised if Tech is able to put up 40. But that being said, I mean, any of y'all want to throw out your predictions? Anyone feeling bold on this Wednesday night before we wrap things up, or what do you guys think? Do you guys think it'll be close?
Man, I'm thinking a slow start, both teams offensively, and then second half we get points on the board. I think it's going to be low 30s, high 20s game. Whoever clips that 30-point mark is going to win the game. So I'm expecting Houston to come out maybe 31, 28.
You got Houston with the upset.
I don't think either
Houston with
team.
the upset, man.
I don't think either team gets more than like 24 points. And this comment about Jamarion, I guess he's back. I mean, he's not on the injury report. I mean, they said
He
Coach
was
Fritz.
available last week.
Yeah, he was available last week, but didn't play because he has like a cast on his thumb. I don't know if he's still gonna have that on Saturday, but it's been on there. But they say he's gonna be available this week, and Coach sounds like he's expecting him to see the field. So we'll just have to see. They're not really, they're kind of secretive with the injuries and stuff. So
Coog Sauce says 24-21 Cougs. So he's got the Cougars putting up the upset as well. Yeah, I agree with
3-2.
I 3-2 Cougars. Well, I mean, damn it, if that's the score and they win, then so be it. They win. A win's a win. One field goal to one safety. That $25 million roster got Tech fans excited. Good for them. Tons of pressure, though. So, yeah, Crabtree kind of in the same boat. And then Mike talking about Burnett. He hopes that Burnett is 100% by the end of the season. I agree with you, Kenneth. I think this is going to be a defensive battle. Like, I think the scores will be in the 20s. I'm not there yet in terms of guaranteeing anything, but I feel like this is the year that Houston finally gets that monkey off their back when it comes to Texas Tech and being unable to overcome the Red Raiders. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know if it'll. I have a feeling that at some stretches it'll look ugly, but I don't know. Maybe too much of a homer, but I think Houston can upset, and if they do, it'll be a defensive battle. I don't think Houston's there yet where they can match them offense for offense. It's got to be a low-scoring game for Houston to upset them.
So this is where I think Connor shows he's the best quarterback on the field. That's why I'm thinking his SEC experience, how tight he was coming out of high school. I think this can be a game that really puts him in different conversations, and I think he seems like he's ready for the moment. And I think it's the confidence he's built over his last couple of weeks, getting a little bit more confident in the offense, more comfortable. I think this can be a coming out party for him.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I see Connor. I mean, he's gotten better every week. Even last week, he threw the ball 36 times, and I think he had like 280 yards, something like that.
Hmm.
So I want to see him put it in the air some more. I want to see Slade Nigga open up that playbook, dial some stuff up for Connor, and just see what he can do. I mean, we kind of already know what he can do, and Connor's been starting to feel himself a little bit more too. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of just the recipe for success.
George Rivera on YouTube makes up a great point. He says Wegman has one less total touchdown than Morton, and obviously Wegman has two less interceptions. So George Rivera seems to be leaning into your direction, Dayon, about who's the best quarterback on the field on Saturday. Mr. Big Texco on YouTube also says Cougs have to play clean game, don't turn the ball over, no dumb penalties. Houston sports fan. He compares Texas Tech and Houston to the Texans and the Ravens. But that is true. Maybe both of these Houston teams can get that, climb that mountain and overcome that obstacle that's been in their way. Texas history teacher talking, perfect. It's fitting. Maybe it's a rewind, or maybe it'll be a 2009 rewing, or rewind is what they meant. um,
I mean, let's not forget Houston owns the overall matchup record, 18-16, one tie.
I was just looking at that yesterday. They do, even though
And so,
they haven't been successful as of late. So
as of late, yeah, I think we add to that, and we let them know like, nah, it's new age, new Houston, new
yeah,
sheriff and town.
I don't know. I mean, they can lean into that into the new era stuff, but it's the off maybe I don't think Houston can win a shootout with Tech,
mhm.
but I mean they have what it takes to win. There's other ways to win, and we've kind of I feel like at this point we've kind of seen the team win in different ways. Um, so they have, I mean, they have the blueprint, they have the methods. It's just which one
But
they.
that's why I'm not underestimating Connor's ability to win a shootout, because if our playmakers make the plays, he's putting it on the money. And
Yeah,
if the game calls for that, I think he has the confidence and the aura to be like, come on, let's go, coach, put it in my hands.
and I'm just
And
thinking about the line though. I mean, it's just
that too. But I think that's where the play caller comes in hand, because, okay, well, we got to get it out quick, our quick passing game, or just different plays where the offensive OC is making calling plays to get our playmaker in the best situation, not necessarily deep passes. He's getting it done in the quick passing game, intermediate passing game, rollouts, chipping on whatever side that may need help, and so it's different ways. I'm just thinking that I just got a feeling that Connor's gonna come out and ball.
I mean, yeah, I would say I noticed. I think the line play against Oregon State. I think the line played better in pass pro than it did in run blocking. I will say that,
Mhm.
and just yeah, get the ball out, find your guys early. I mean, I mean, if the line is just somewhat competent, there's ways that they can manage just with the talent they have at quarterback.
Grouchy brings a great point. He says both of these teams, Tech and Houston, are top 15 scoring defenses. Um,
Yeah, me either. I don't see anything anywhere in that 40.
and
That's why I
Mr.
think.
Go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm just staying with his comment. That's why I don't think. I think the offense has come alive late.
Mr. Big Tex Go on YouTube. Then see, this is the type of. Hopefully, we have a lot of Mr. Big Tex Goes on Saturday. He says they need the fans to come out. They're coming all the way from San Antonio to be at the game on Saturday. So hopefully we have a lot of that. We do have a turnout. It's just a great atmosphere. This is what college football is all about. This excitement, this rivalry, this pageantry. And at the end of the day, it's 4-0 versus 4-0. Top 11 team coming into TDECU Stadium. This is why fans were excited. This is why they wanted to be in the Big 12, to have these type of matchups that they just weren't having in the American Athletic Conference consistently enough. So come out, show out, support Cougars, and wear that Houston blue and boo Texas Tech. That being said, that's gonna pretty much do it for this preview episode of Houston versus Texas Tech. We'll obviously be back on Saturday night for Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian family. Dayon, Chris, and I. Hopefully, we're joined with by Bryce Bell on Saturday. And we're going to be talking all things that happen in the game between Houston and Texas Tech. Hopefully, we're talking about an upset victory between Houston and the Red Raiders. Big thank you to everybody that tuned in, and apologies for the lack of promotion for this episode. But this week has been a really crazy, busy week. But we thank everybody. We had a good turnout. They came in as we go. Good. Thank you for the comments. Everybody that commented. If you are just new, if you're a Texas Tech Red Raider fan that found this video, and I don't think we've ran into any of them live, but somehow they'll find it between now and Saturday, and you want to comment all the things, we'll be back on Saturday night. So feel free, join us, especially if y'all lose, right? Y'all can be loud heading into the game, but if y'all lose, y'all better come and y'all better show. Whoever that rage baiter was on Friday night, Saturday morning, I haven't forgotten. If you are new, if you are interested in supporting, being an advertiser, both either on this show here on Pod Slam and Jam, if you haven't noticed, we haven't had any sponsors for this edition of Pod Slam and Jam. You like to sponsor this show, if you want to help us out, even if you're just watching, with a simple super sticker, anything you can give, or just by retweeting, by hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, telling a friend to tell a friend. We really appreciate it. And as always, you can reach out via that email on the screen, or if you're listening audio only platform, it's letsragecoogs@gmail.com. Like I said, anything helps, whether it be a retweet, a like, a repost, whatever platform you may be listening, or even just by word of mouth. We can never say thank you enough. That being said, Kenneth, I'll toss it over to you. Anything you like to plug or promote?
Shout out Star Pizza. I seen you, Andy, with Chris Gardner. Shout out Star Pizza.
Yeah, we need to go and shoot a new one. That was our NCAA. That was our March Madness commercial.
Yeah. Shout out Mike. He been getting me right a little bit. Shout out Go Cougs, of course. Shout out Coog TV. We got some basketball media tomorrow. We're gonna talk to the players and Kelvin Sampson again. Before the season, they getting right for the season to start. And I'm just hoping a good game on Saturday. I expect TDECU to be filled to the brim. So that's what it's looking like. That's what the projections are sounding like. The fan bases seem to be involved in it. Shout out to Tech fans. That's a funny crowd. There's a bunch of them too. So I expect to see them at TDECU as well. Y'all can come through. But yeah, that's about it.
I wonder if they'll be able to sneak in the tortillas past TDECU.
That'd be funny.
We're not doing that though. Y'all leave that in
Yeah,
Lubbock.
leave that in Lubbock, man. This H-Town where it go down, and we ain't
We're not
got none
doing
of
that.
that going on, man. I'm excited. I think it will be a sellout. I'm expecting it to be full. I'm expecting for Houston to come out and put a good showcase. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I think it's gonna be a turning of the guard coming out party for Houston. Even a bigger recruiting class once they see that Houston is here and we arrived and we're coming to make us a household name. I'm ready to see that Houston blue, man. Let's come out. Let's be clean, look good, feel good, play good. They pay good. So let's
Yeah.
do it, man. Go Cougs.